If you ever touched a gaming console in your life, a good chance is that you certainly know what Tetris is. And with Tetris comes along the star of the video, and his name is Pac-Man. Now you probably remember Pac-Man in its original form with the top-down perspective, but did you know there were also a whole bunch of 3D Pac-Man games? Now today I wanna show you how good was the first 3D Pac-Man on the PlayStation 1. The 90s were a crazy turn point in the game industry where somehow every character needed to emerge from 2D to glorious 3D, so we can see all his polygons in full glory. But some of the characters, the transition in the 3D was no-brainer, like Legend of Zelda and Super Mario. But there were also some games where the 3D would be weird and out of place choice. Such an example would be Pac-Man. Now, Pac-Man was an odd choice to go 3D, but Namco put a team together and they tried this idea out, and it ended up that almost the whole team got fired. After Namco saw what they did, they turned Pac-Man into a Bubsy game at first glance, so I don't blame Namco for the radical decision. But because Namco wanted something special for the 20th anniversary of Pac-Man, they again put their small fairies to work and we got Pac-Man World. Now, how good was the 3D Pac-Man? I will show you in this video, so stay with me. Now, Pac-Man was one of the games with many others that I got for my uncle. As a kid I knew who Pac-Man was and I played it, of course. I mean, you can't say that you never played Pac-Man. I mean, it's like Tetris. They are everywhere. Yes, Pac-Man had many alterations until this 3D game. On the arcades, on the Atari, Nintendo Entertainment System, you name it. But the first huge change was to jump into 3D in my opinion. As a kid I found many enjoyment in this game with a cheerful and optimistic graphic and a wonderful soundtrack. Now the game starts with a decent looking FMV video, where we see everybody is gathering for Pac-Man's 20th birthday. Now we see Puka from Dig Dug, then we see Pac Dog, Pac Baby, Pac Professor, Pac Jr. and Miss Pac-Man. Whoa! That's a whole pack of packs, or however you call a group of packs. Now if you count Pac-Man into the mix, there were 6 in total of them. Should I call them 6-pack?
Wait, what?
Now the unpleasant surprise for our boy Pac-Man is that everybody got snatched, leaving him all alone on his birthday. The lonely Pac-Man buckles up. I need to stop with the pack jokes. He sees a weird message, he goes to the Ghost Island. Now the ghosts are jamming on the party. No, not the band Ghost, the ghosts from Pac-Man. Where we meet Dogman. Wait, what? Pac-Man and Dogman? Who came up with those names? Anyways, he's obviously a fake replica of Pac-Man, but he looks pretty brutal and metal. By the way, I will show you a special clip of Dogman where he goes full Samuel L. Jackson style, so stay to the end. Now, our guy washes up on the shore and he wanna crash the party. Now the plot, as you see, is very simple and it doesn't take itself too seriously, because we are still talking about a kids game mostly, but I will talk about that in a bit. Now it isn't very hard to follow. You got introduced to your main villain and the reason why you should fight him. The obvious reason is to rescue your locked up friends, including of course Mrs. Pac-Man and our dog, and you don't steal a man, dog or else. Now Pac-Man will go full John Wick on Dogman. Now the game is a weird mix between a 3D platformer and a side-to-side scroller. What is great, because the gameplay doesn't become boring, because it switches the perspective often. Of course the side-scrolling segment includes depth, so thanks to God Pac-Man has a shadow under him for better landing. From the start of the game you will feel how Pac-Man is agile and swift to control. One of his attacks is the bouncy ability, but Pac-Man also got few more attacks up his sleeve. First is the rev mode, where he charges and dashes into someone, what you shouldn't use for attacking because you can easily fly off the level. And then you can also shoot yellow dots, what is mostly useless because he's aiming directly into the ground. But you can charge it in a more explosive attack, but it costs also more points. Now, some of the things I mentioned will be also used in various levels to overcome obstacles. What great is that the first level is pretty easy, where you will learn all the basics. One more great thing is, there isn't any pop-outs tutorial, but rather shields with hints. That's a great way to respect the player's ability to learn and overcome obstacles without any help. You see, there are 6 different realms of levels, all approachable from the hub level. So yeah, let's rate the hub levels, because I love them. And now, in this hub level, you can walk around, shoot this cannon, and you're stuck with the same 30-second loop music. This hub level sucks. Never mind, let's talk about the different types of the level you will encounter on your journey to rescue other Pacs. Plus, a great thing is that you don't need to follow any order and you can play the levels as you like. So there is a Pirate of the Caribbean level, Darkest Tomb Raider like level, Space level, the level with your worst nightmare, Industry Mob looking level, and finally the Mansion. Well, that's how I name the levels. Now, every of those levels is ending with a boss level, but I wanna first talk about the levels and then we are going to talk about more about the bosses. The starting levels are very easy and would be perfect for a younger gamer, but after you finish the 2 pirates level, you say to yourself, let's see the space levels. And you see the immediate spike in the difficulty. Same with the tomb levels. It's not like the difficulty is equally getting harder after each level, but rather the difficulty is randomized. The most fun I had with the space levels and the pirate, but also industry levels. I found them to be a great mix of difficulty and I like the style they are going for. But man, the clown level, let me tell you, was a pure nightmare, and not because of the clowns, but rather of the spinning platforms. Because you really need to watch out for the momentum you're going. After all, it is easy to fall off and there are just too many of those things. But the good part was that the ghosts were dressed like clowns, what was pretty funny. Now I forgot, you have few special abilities. You can pick up a super jump that ends up in a huge explosive, and you can turn yourself into a metal Pac-man, what gives you the ability to sink underwater to reach and destroy certain crates, what was copied from Mario 64, but hey. And of course, you can pick up the big yellow dot to eat ghosts. Oh yeah, the ghosts are dressed up differently in each stage. Plus there are also different enemy types to accommodate every level. Every level you need to go to the finish, where you can collect a golden Namco coin to finish the level. On your way you will also need to collect different various fruits to open doors. Now, why are you using fruits to open doors is beyond any reason, but just to be sure, I'm always taking a banana with me. Just to be sure, you never know. The problem lies in that you will often need to progress pretty far just to go back to unlock a certain door to get to the minigames or to a certain switch to progress. So the levels are almost double the length when you include the backtracking, what was a bit of annoying. One more problem lies that the mansion levels were too easy compared to the other stages you visited until this point, what was a bit weird, but I think it was unintentionally. Now the bosses were a mixed bag, where some fights were alright, like the fighting the pirate ship where you need to deflect the incoming bombs, simple, neat and okay. The mummy running sequence was also right, where you switch to over a shoulder view and you need to avoid various traps, all fine and dandy. Now there is also a battle against the robot in the industry levels, what was pretty okay. But the Galga game was fun at first, but it drags out too long and my fingers almost fell off of the button pressing, because you need to press every time the button you wanna shoot. So you see how many enemies are on the screen? Yeah, it was annoying as hell in the end. But the level where you fight the shrine thing is just a huge mess. And could be done otherwise. There are just too many freaking things happening all at once, and if you're not pixel perfect at every jump, it's easy to be stuck over an hour playing this stage, trust me, been there. Now the last boss fight was alright, it felt like something from a Spyro game. A huge round open area where you need to avoid the boss and exploit his weaknesses. You will need to collect the points, then hit him, jump on the switches to trap him and jump on him, and avoid his roll and dash into him. So simply to put, you will need to beat him with his own attacks, or better to say with your attacks, because he's a replica of you. Yeah, you get the idea. Now, in between and in levels are bonus stages for collecting. After collecting all the letters, you can end up in a bonus level where you can collect fruits to get more lives. And there is also a special door where you can end up in a classic Pac-Man game with a 3D spin on them. Now, every stage has its own variation on the classic Pac-Man, but they all settle down to include obstacles and traps into the mazes, so I didn't find them too good, but it changes the pace, so it was okay. Graphically, sound-wise the game is okay, some of the levels are looking much better than others considering the details. But it's not an ugly looking game. But some levels don't feel too fleshed out. The pirate and space level are probably the best looking in my opinion because of the special effects like the lasers and the background of the sea, but the clown level is just looking a bit odd. Somehow the background is really weird looking in my opinion. Now sound-wise, the game included classic sounds from original Pac-Man games. What was expected? But the stages have a unique twist on the original music of Pac-Man, which I found nice. My favorite track would be Gimme Space, all-time favorite. Now, before we come to the end, I just wanna let you know I have made a Patreon page, and if you enjoyed the videos I make, consider joining the guild. I have created a whole tier list with special perks to every tier, but the first tier is more than enough. A cup of coffee would greatly boost my morale and my efficiency to make better content for you to enjoy. So, back to Pac-Man. After defeating Pac-Man, you find out it was a ghost all along. Now after the ghost starts to emotionally break down and says how nobody loves him, Pac-Man develops compassion and let the guy go away. And they go to the party. That's what I thought would happen. Pac-Man, what are you doing? No. Pac-Man, stop, man. Now, as I collected every letter and beat every maze, somehow the game gave me 95% of the game and I wanted to hang myself. But to your unpleasant surprise, I'm still here. And I need to ramble a bit more about the game. After the 95% completed, I got some outtakes videos, what I found actually great, and I feel rewarded after completing 100%. I don't give a crap what the game says, I completed everything and I collected everything. Oh yeah, you wanna see the scene where the Pac-Man goes full Samuel L. Jackson? Here we go.
Action!
Look, here I am! Nothing almost killed me! Mother!
Cut!
Pac-Man World isn't maybe the most innovating game out there, but it has some charms with the character, especially with the Pac-Man's funny animation and the great soundtrack. And with the different level designs. I wouldn't recommend this game for smaller kids because sometimes the game is really tough, but that's a thing that will appeal to the older crowd. Overall, it's a great way to spend a day or two along Pac-Man and go to a journey with him. But now I wanna hear your thoughts about the game. Did you play Pac-Man World? Or would you try it? Now please remember to share and like the video because it helps the channel. Subscribe if you're new. For more insight check me on Instagram and I see you in the next one. Snorky over and out.